This is considered to be your featured directorial debut. I was looking back at your father's featured directorial debut, which I believe was Grand Theft Auto, and I was curious if you had conversations about what that first feature was like for him, and kind of comparing. Yours is a documentary; it's a different type of film, but I'm just wondering if you had conversations about the debut feature film.
Very interesting question. No, however, now that I think about it, we didn't necessarily like compare and contrast, but we've talked many times about Grand Theft Auto and how he got that job and what it took and all of that. And a huge part of that movie was actually my grandfather mentoring my dad. I think they co-wrote the script together. My granddad was involved in there every single day,
Hmm.
and act in it. I mean, he was, very, 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 very supportive of my dad and my uncle. So certainly Grand Theft Auto felt like a family affair. My mom was in charge of the catering and all of that. And so, this was kind of in its own right a family affair as well.
Considering the times we're in right now, I've been talking to a lot of actors and filmmakers who are parents, and parenting has obviously changed a lot now. I mean, with the homeschooling and elements like that. If you were making the dad's doc now, how differently would you have approached the times that we're in and questions that you would have asked? I mean, I know it's hard to kind of imagine what that would be, but would you have approached you would have had to have approached it differently, right?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I think to myself sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, the footage that people must be amassing right now of kind of like what their day-to-day lives are if they are so lucky as to be healthy and to be able to stay at home with their families. And I've definitely thought of that, but I'm really, really, really happy that we made this movie when we did, because we were able to kind of depict, in a sense, a new normal for what the modern father looks like. Half
Yeah.
of our fathers are stay-at-home dads, half of our fathers are working dads, but all of them show our faces of what it is to be a father today in the world.
Yeah. Now, speaking of fathers, one of my favorite things was watching your dad tweeting about your Mandalorian episode and how excited he was about it, because I thought it was the best episode of that entire first season. I was just wondering, can you confirm you're definitely coming back for another episode in season two? And do you
Yes.
have an idea of what you want to do yet?
So we've already shot season two.
Oh, you're done. You shot season
We're
two.
done. Yep, 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 yeah, which is great. But my dad, oh my gosh, I can't get the man to stop tweeting things. And I'm like, you can't say this. I am so clear. Like with Chris Pratt in Jurassic World, he released. He was like, oh, the two co-stars of Jurassic World before Chris, like before it was done, before it had been announced. And then he was like, oh, whoops, like, and then he did it again. Like I was like on the red carpet with him at the Vanity Fair party this year, and he was like talking about like Mandalorian. I literally went in front of camera. I'm like, I've got to find this footage somewhere, because I was panicking and I was going in front of my dad like that much. And then he proceeds to go and then like tweet and then suggest that there's another filmmaker involved who wasn't. Dad, Dad, I love you so much, but like you gotta, you can't.